Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft Myth Busting. Today's episode is a special one. It is the 50th episode of Myth Busting, and in this episode we are not going to bust any myths. That's right, I felt like this episode I would like to actually have a chat with you about this series, where it has been and where it is heading. But first of all, thank you for all of your fantastic support throughout the series. It has been great fun making these videos of us finding things out about the game based on your suggestions. Myth busting has been one of my favourite shows to make for some time now. However, I am running out of ideas for these episodes. There are lots of myths that get suggested in each episode, but a lot of them are either things that I have already covered or they are impractical to make an episode from. For example, what happens to a mob when they get hit by lightning? This would be a fun thing to test on every mob, but we can't really manipulate lightning, so it would be an extremely tedious task to do, and one that I could not pull off. In fact, there are a big list of ideas for episodes, however, we have covered most of the useful and more interesting myths already, or so it would seem. So the future of this series, I want to keep this show going, however with less and less decent ideas for episodes, it is becoming harder to keep the show going, so there may come a time when myth busting isn't a weekly series. However, the show will continue going on as long as the game updates, because every time a new update is rolled out there will be new myths, there will be blocks to test if mobs can spawn on, and game mechanics would have changed, meaning we would need to go over our previous myths in a rebuttal style episode, which is something you will see from me in the future, an episode where we go back and check our previous testing and find out what is happening in the latest version of the game, and that is something I would very much like to have done in 1.7. However, because of the game code and problems with getting that decompiled and readable, it means we're still waiting on doing that episode, and it will probably be 1.8 before we do a rebuttal episode. So there are two common questions I would like to address about this show. First of all, we never do testing in snapshots or do myth busting around snapshot features. The reason for this is that anything could change from one snapshot to the next, which could mean we are wasting our time, and if we do myth busting episode on a new mob 1 episode, and in the next the mob has been completely changed, then we are just wasting our time. Now obviously the game changes over time with the major updates, but snapshots are far too experimental, and it's much better that we do our testing and our show in the major updates. So the second thing I'd like to address is the name of the show. Some comments often complain about how we are not busting myths, and all we're doing is testing things that some people don't know about. And this is kind of true, but the thing is, a myth is a widely believed notion or idea about the game that is wrong, and this can be different for each individual person, which means it can be common knowledge to some, and to others it can be a complete myth. So what this show is really about is testing, science, answering questions, and finding out the facts about this game. So for some of you it may not be the best name, but the spirit of the show is about learning and understanding this game. And for your information, I actually renamed the show to Minecraft Science a long time ago. I made 2 episodes, then I decided to take a break, and when I got back in the mood I continued with the myth busting title. And if you're interested in seeing those videos, I'll actually put a link to the playlist for that in the description box. The 2 episodes that I made were about nether quartz ore and comparators. So if you want to check them out, there's a link down there. So I've been rattling my brain trying to think of anything else I wanted to let you know about regarding myth busting while we have this talky episode going on. But that really is it. I think I've said everything I wanted to say about the show. I want to thank you again for all of your support on this series. I'm not sure what we're going to be doing next episode. There might be a break. I'm really not sure at this point, but hopefully I can find another interesting topic to tackle. But that is it for this episode. I hope you don't mind the talky one. And as always, thank you very much for watching. I will catch you next time.